I'm going to start tracing the main outline of the top sketch. Here we have a 20mm radius arc, then we have 130 by 40mm rectangle. Since the 3D cursor is right here, we can create a circle, then keep only the left arc. So let's press Shift+A to add, go to Mesh, and add a mesh circle. Since I'm going for high resolution, I'll set vertices to 112 and the radius to 20mm. Now let's edit this mesh. Here I'll select this half here, then I'll press Y to split, then I'll press X to delete and select vertices. Here we have 130, so let's select these two vertices here, then I'll press E to extrude, X to lock the axis, type 130 and enter to confirm. To close the shape, press F. Now we need to create this slot here. Here we have a 10mm radius arc, here we have another 10mm radius arc, and they are 40mm apart from each other. So we can create another circle. Press Shift+A to add, and add another mesh circle. Here I'll set the radius to 10mm. Then I'm going to the local view and zoom in to select, and I'll select this half right here. Then I'll press Y to split. Notice that I have two arcs now. Let's exit local view, and then we need to place this arc right here. So press G to grab, X to lock the axis, type 40 and enter. Now to close the shape, select these two vertices here and press F to create a new edge, then select these two vertices here and press F to close the shape. Now let's create some faces. Select these vertices here and press F to create a new face. Then I'll invert the selection with Ctrl+I, Ctrl+Numpad+ to select more, then I'll press F to create another face. Here we have inverted normals, so let's flip them. So press A to select all, and Shift+Ctrl+N. Here we need to extrude these faces by 10mm. So press E to extrude, type 10, and hit Enter to confirm. And the base mesh is ready. We can press Tab to exit edit mode, F2 to rename, and I'll call it base mesh. Now I'm going to trace the side sketch. Here we have a 50mm diameter circle and a 40mm. So let's place the 3D cursor right here. To place the 3D cursor, press N to open the sidebar and go to the View tab. Here is the current position of the 3D cursor. So we need to add 40mm, then 65mm. Then we're going to place it right here. So for the 3D cursor X location, set it to 40 plus 65mm. Now we need to place it right here. So this is 40mm divided by 2, and this is negative value. So let's set the Y location to -20. And for here, let's place it at 40mm. So set the Z location to 40mm. And there we have it. Now let's create another circle. Press Shift+A, go to Mesh and add another mesh circle. Here I'll set the radius to 50mm divided by 2. Then I'll set the X rotation to 90 degrees. To edit the mesh, press Tab to go to Edit Mode. Then I'll select the bottom half, press Y to split. Then I'll press X and delete the vertices. Now let's select these two vertices here. Press E to extrude, Z to lock the axis, -40, Enter to confirm, and F to close the shape. Now we need to create this 30mm diameter hole. So press Shift+A to add a circle, and set the radius to 30mm divided by 2, and the X rotation to 90 degrees. Now let's create some faces. Select the top half, press F to create a new face, Ctrl+I, Ctrl+Numpad+, and F to create another face. Notice these faces are red, meaning the normals are pointing this direction here, from here to here. So this is what we want. So if extrude this 10 millimeters here, we're going to extrude in this direction. So now press A to select all, E to extrude, type 10, and enter to confirm. For this one, we're going to use the mirror modifier. So press Tab to exit edit mode, go to modifiers, add modifier, go to generate, add a mirror modifier. Now let's set the axis to Y and the mirror object to base mesh. Now we have a duplicate of this mesh here. Since this is a Boolean object, I'll place it into a Boolean collection. So let's press M to move to collection, choose new collection, and I'll rename it Union. And since we don't need to see it on the viewport, let's uncheck this here. Now let's select the base mesh, go to modifiers, add modifier, generate, and add a Boolean modifier. Then set it to Union, operand type to collection, select the Union collection, and let me show you something. If I set it to local view here, real quick, you can see these edges here and these edges here. At the bottom, we have these edges here and these edges here. I'm going to fix this by setting the solver. So let's go back here and then set the solver to manifold. Now we expand this and set it to X-ray. We can see basically the mesh is perfect. So let's exit here, then with the mouse over the modifier, press Ctrl+A to apply. Now let's check once again. I'm going to zoom in, going to edit mode, then I'm going to select all by trade, non-manifold, nothing selected, select all by trade, interior faces, nothing selected. So the mesh is ready. We only need to set the shading here. Exit the X-ray, exit edit mode, here. To get rid of this shading, just right click and set Shade Auto Smooth. And there you have it, a clean, accurate, high resolution mesh all built in Blender.